Hi, my name is Adrian, and I'm the creator of what has come to be known as Hizoria. Now, what is Hizoria, and why should you care? Well, it's the brainchild of a 13-year-old boy back in 2021, which then became a project that spanned 5 years and continues to grow, with a couple dozen people already assisting in the development of this massive project. It is primarily a high fantasy universe filled with adventure, lore, and action, but I guess that still doesn't answer what Hizoria is exactly, and honestly, I don't think there's a word to encompass just how large scale this project is. I guess the easiest way to explain would be with a little bit of backstory. Let's go back in time to when I was a wee bit kid living in Poland. For the story to begin, we need one key family member that introduced me to the world of board games: my uncle. My uncle is great. Funny, sometimes annoying, though it's always a good laugh. He's also, most importantly, a board game enthusiast. I bet you see the link here already. So, when I was a child, my uncle got me Farmer, which I still have to this day. It was one of the first ever board games I got, and it's what got me transfixed in the world of board games. When I was 4 years old, I moved to England, where I now live, and from then on, whenever I would go back to Poland for the holidays, there would be a couple days where me, my cousins and my uncle would play even more board games. Around the age of 7, so roughly 2018, I started exploring YouTube, and somewhere in that massive world of content I came across a video that sparked my love for video games. I don't remember the exact video, but I do remember the game. A small niche title you might have heard of: Minecraft. I was hooked. From that point on, I spent years playing and trying out all kinds of games, slowly building up ideas and creativity that would later feed into Hizoria. In 2021, at the age of 13, everything truly began. My uncle introduced me to a tabletop roleplay game, or TTRPG, called Descent: Journey in the Dark. And that was the moment everything clicked. Inspired, I created the first version of what would eventually become Hizoria, though back then it didn't even have a name. I built it using colored paper and Lego, putting together cards, characters and rules in just a few days. Soon enough, the first playtest was underway. I was excited. And then we had to stop 15 minutes in. Half the rules didn't make sense, and some didn't even exist. But instead of stopping, I went straight back to work, rewriting, redesigning, and improving everything, like a blacksmith fixing flaws in a blade. Not long after, version 2 was ready, and this time, it worked. We ended up playing for hours across 2 days, laughing at the ridiculous weapons and abilities I had created. But eventually the holidays ended and I had to return home to England. That's when I decided that I would make a bigger, better version of the game. Back in England, I got to work almost immediately. More weapons, more enemies, more characters, more abilities, just more. Throughout 2021 and 2022, I kept developing the game, improving mechanics, redesigning features, and expanding everything I had already built. Lots of it was made using Lego, and a slightly questionable amount of school printing. Around this time, my uncle introduced me to RPGs, role-playing games, more broadly, which helped shape the direction and style of the game even further. This version finally got a name: Ninjas and Dragons, a completely original and definitely not obvious combination of Lego Ninjago and Dungeons and Dragons. As the project grew, development slowed slightly. The scale was increasing and things were getting more complex. But I continued playtesting with friends, building a basic storyline with levels, enemies and progression. Not perfect, but it was getting better. In 2022, I had the opportunity to take things further through a school project in my electronics class. Despite the name, the class wasn't heavily focused on electronics, which gave me the perfect chance to develop a more advanced version of my game. With support from my teachers, I began refining the project in a much more structured way. One teacher in particular made a huge difference. supportive, funny, and genuinely interested in what I was creating. And during this project, the game finally got its proper name, Hizoria. This version was where I started experimenting more seriously, testing out new mechanics, exploring different design ideas, and pushing the project further than before. After building a version I was happy with, I returned to playtesting with friends. The results were strong. Not perfect, but clearly improving. For the first time, it felt like Hizoria was becoming something real. Since then, from 2022 up to now in 2026, I've continued developing Hizoria. With each playtest, each update, and each new idea, the project has grown and evolved into something far bigger than I originally imagined. I've been slowly picking away at ideas and spin-offs focusing around Hizoria, some of which include a video game, book series, music, songs, website lore, and even more. All of the above are not confirmed, they are simply ideas that I have explored or am exploring and might become an actual project. I cannot promise that they will, as I am primarily a solo developer. The TTRPG of Hizoria is still, as of currently, the most developed and primary project that I am focusing on. I've run several dozen playtests with various groups of people, each one allowing me to further balance and improve the gameplay. Development has undoubtedly gotten harder. The further I delve into improving and adjusting the game, the more I find that certain aspects cannot be perfected, and by trying to do so I am simply removing the fun from the game. I've been keeping a devlog of updates and changes being made to the game, and I will continue to do so with every playtest I run. So, we've come full circle to the big question. What is Hizoria? Hizoria isn't just one thing, it's not just an RPG, it's not just a story, it's a world that could become a game, a book, music, or something completely different. Hizoria is a journey, and it's one I don't want to build alone. I want you to be a part of it, your ideas, your feedback, your imagination, because at the end of the day, Hizoria isn't just what I make it, it's what we make it. I want to thank everyone who has helped me so far in creating Hizoria. I wouldn't have been able to make it this far without your support, ideas, and guidance. And a special thanks to the playtesters for putting up with my endless rule changes and occasionally overpowered abilities. I would also like to thank my uncle for introducing me to the world of board games and my teacher from the electronics class, who allowed me to further advance the development of my tabletop role-playing game. As a final note, here are a few images of what the game currently looks like, and maybe a small sneak peek of what's coming next. If you want to follow the journey as Hizoria continues to grow, stick around, there's a lot more coming. And if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing, and let me know in the comments if there's anything specific you'd like to see next. Thank you for watching, and let your imagination run wild.